Article 7 of the Constitution required each state to have its own ratification convention, and delegates were sent to debate and vote for or against the Constitution. 9 out of 13 states had to ratify for the Constitution to become the supreme law of the land, but it was necessary for Virginia, Massachusetts, and New York to ratify for the Constitution to work. Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Georgia ratified almost immediately, some with a unanimous vote. But the key states, Virginia, Massachusetts, and New York, took their time, with many heated arguments for and against the Constitution. The most ardent supporters of the Constitution were James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay, the three men who wrote the Federalist Papers, defending the Constitution. Opposing them were Patrick Henry, Edmund Randolph, George Clinton, Robert Yates, and John Lansing, very strong anti-Federalists.
The New Jersey Convention finished yesterday. They have ratified!
Really? That's wonderful. The Constitution is well on its way to being ratified.
I sincerely hope not. Well, at least Massachusetts, Virginia, and New York have yet to decide. I believe the article simply needs some touching up.
Touching up? The articles are obviously failing. They have too little power to the national government and too much to the state governments. The federal government is helpless. They have no power to tax or to regulate trade, and we don't even have a national executive. Our economy is suffering horribly, and we are in debt.
Yes, but the Constitution gives the national government too much power. I mean, what is this precedent? Will he become another king? After all we have fought for, I will not accept another tyrant like the King of England.
You see, the Constitution has multiple checks and balances between the branches to prevent any one group from obtaining too much power. So it is actually impossible for the president to become king.
Well, they should have put in a section to prevent the government from doing things that the British did, like quartering and double jeopardy.
And maybe they will. But for now, the Constitution is better than the Articles could ever be. Our government cannot function with a weak federal government dominated by the state.
You.
And James Madison. Now, he believes in the new Constitution. There is a man who will bring about great change in our government.
Pah! That's a load of nonsense. A less powerful federal government will keep our democracy strong.
Well, we shall see what will happen when our Georgia Convention is held.
Yes, yes we shall.
According to William Dudley, the Anti-Federalists said about the Constitution that it is not merely, as it ought to be, a confederation of states, but a government of individuals. They also stated that the powers of Congress extended to the lives, the liberties, and the property of every citizen. This shows that they were worried that a few people would gain too much power. Meanwhile, the Federalists were arguing that it is more a government of the people than the present Congress ever was because the proposed representatives are to be chosen by the people. They also asked, is there a government on earth where the life, liberty, and property of the citizen may not be forfeited by a violation of the laws of God and man? The Federalists felt that there still needed to be some control of the country and its people, though it would not be a monarchy. The two groups quarreled back and forth, but in the end, the Constitution still prevailed.